Recording.
Hello, everyone. I'm one of your hosts of the Weekly DLC. My name is Karosh. I'm joined by Daniel Vargas
Hello.
and Daniel Jang.
Black Lives Matter.
And this is episode 174. We're going to do something a little different today. In light of recent events going on across America, we're going to focus on a lot of the wrongs that have been done to the Black community and focus on just some creative individuals within that community and just try to say as much positivity we can to help promote them because we support the Black Lives Matter and they're just the ongoing struggle that's been faced and what's been going on. It's a tough conversation, and we're going to try our best to kind of talk about the things we think we can bring to help. Like we just want to try and help with that. So that today's going to be a little bit. Yeah, this episode is going to be a little bit more concise and not. We're not going to talk about a lot of what's been going on the week. We'll go back to some of that later after this, but we want to spend this episode kind of dedicated to that. So with that, guys, do you guys want to start with the one I had brought up earlier?
Yeah, I think you had a good one.
Okay. I kind of wanted to spend a little bit. Yeah, my thought was we could talk about just a couple of individuals that come to mind uh, that are within the Black community that are creatives or that do work that you really enjoy, that you personally uh, take consume or view or read or however whatever, and why, what you think is interesting or compelling or whatever. I just wanted to highlight some of that. So um, does anyone want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You can go first, Crash.
Okay. One of them is actually a streamer. He streams on Twitch like how Jang does. His name is Trihex, or his Twitch name is Trihex. He plays a lot of different games, and you guys, he's got heavy with Twitch.
I first heard of him through Yoshi's Island, like
Yeah,
speedrunning that, and
yeah,
just
he
seeing
would do a
his
lot of.
his hands. Is like, man, this guy's a master.
Yeah,
A
he's
master.
very talented with a lot of speedruns. Yoshi's Island is definitely one of the ones I've seen. Lately, I've seen him do stuff like Super Mario Maker, and he's done a variety of other Smash Bros, um, and Kingdom Hearts and variety streaming in general. But something that I think he brings that's interesting, besides just his entertainment and skill, is a lot of the conversation he brings. Um, he's very outspoken, and it's in a way that's very engaging and it draws you in. I didn't have any thought about a lot of just worldly topics in general that he's talked about on his stream until I just put his stream on and I just started listening.
Yeah.
And he I don't know, he breaks it down on a very easy to understand level, and he creates a discussion about it. It's not so much like he's just speaking to you like his opinion or whatever. He'll have his opinion, but he creates a conversation with his chat, and sometimes he'll even be like, all right, so we're going to prep for Wednesday's stream. Bring your discussion topics, your debate topics, and he'll have a debate or something, or
I
a conversation.
I just remember one big thing from him where was usually his emote is a universal emote and it's used negatively, and I know he had a discussion about that.
What was that discussion?
Like whether Twitch should allow it or not. I think I believe he said it. See, I don't know for sure, but I think he said it was okay to use, but they had to crack down on the context of using
The
it.
usage of it?
Yeah, I'm not sure, 100% sure.
You're talking about the tryhard emote, right?
Yeah, the tryhard emote.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there's been a lot of discussion about it, and just it's crazy that he's a streamer and one of the most used universal emojis or emotes on Twitch is that emote, and it's been used both in a positive and in a negative context. And um, I'll try to find what his thoughts were on it, but like I know he's chimed in on like his. I think he's been like talking about the circumstances of which it's being used and like how that's important to that. But I don't want to speak out of context, so I'll try to find something for it. But yeah, he's definitely like just him as a streamer is just he's very entertaining, he's very engaging and informative and educational, and I think that's a great recipe for like just some stream or entertain you.
Yeah,
So.
and watching him, I get a different state of mind because he's very determined, dude. He does these long, he'll do repetitive content,
Oh
like
yeah,
the levels and stuff,
the Mario
and
Maker stuff.
yeah, he pushes like he pushes through that stuff like a champ. It's crazy. And while doing all this, he sometimes he'll step on delicate content,
Hmm.
that his stream brings up, and he's not scared to talk about it, and he's a really great individual.
And what's cool is like he's admit like there's been plenty of times where he's like I'm in the wrong,
Yeah.
and it's hard. I think it's rare when I see like just someone in the limelight like that, like backstep, but not just like backstep and just like say an apology, but like
Hmm.
to like it feels like there's like a genuine level of like understanding. It's like, oh shit, I'm speaking out of my realm of understanding, and I am now going to start doing these. Like he talks about the measures he takes to like educate himself or to learn or whatever, and I'm like, I think that's a good. Those are good practices.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's definitely one guy I would highlight if you haven't checked out like any of his streams.
Do you have another gang crush?
Oh yeah, sure. I thought do you guys want to go around?
I thought we were going ring around.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I didn't know how we were doing it.
Yeah, Jang, do you want to go?
Yes. Mine is also another streamer. I first followed her because you know how like Twitch has those like highlights of a specific streamer.
Mhm.
So they posted one up, and usually when I see these like highlights, I'm very not impressed. Dude, she is hilarious. Her name's Cup of Noodle, and like I saw her highlight, and I was like, dude, I gotta follow her, dude. And what I like about her in her streams is that dude, she's very interactive. Like, dude, you don't have to even be subbed. Like, I've actually joked with her, but yeah, dude,
Like
she's,
in her chat?
yeah, in her chat, she acknowledges almost everyone. Like, it's really rare to see a big time streamer like that like miss, or I mean, a lot of big time streamers like that miss. Like, oh hi, like But like, yeah, dude, she's hilarious, dude, and I've actually did some jokes on her. But yeah, very entertaining. She's known for she's a variety streamer, but I guess she's known for scary games. I haven't watched her play a scary game. I've just seen her play like just random different games. But yeah, she's also part of the Twitch Council, which kind of got some controversy. But I'm glad it wasn't her.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so Cup of Noodle.
Cup of Noodle, check her out. She's very, very, very funny and very interactive.
Okay, cool. Vargas, did you have any?
Yeah. Someone who I have that I like to put focus on is Daniel Kaluuya, and if you don't know him, he's an actor that was in Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele. He's obviously the main character in that movie, and I mean I think like he's been in like more bigger movies recently, but I think he's still like someone that we can keep an eye on, and he's gonna get bigger and someone we can put a focus on, that I think would do really good with it. Everything that we're talking about here.
Yeah, Get Out was like his performance in Get Out was really
dude.
great.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, when
down
I
to-
do like the cup stuff and everything, like holy
what I liked him actually also I know Black Panther's a big movie and everything, but like his role wasn't large, I would say.
yeah.
But like it still felt like there was a lot of layer to it. Like there was
Mhm.
depth to like his relationship with the characters that he had relationships with, and like what that meant to him. Like I felt like there's a director's cut of that movie somewhere where they explore that more,
Mhm.
and that is one of the things that they explore is just like them, like him and there's the other character that like has a relationship with him, and they find themselves at odds based on their
Yeah.
beliefs, and like they're kind of pulled away, but then like brought back together. But like that whole struggle, I felt like was very like they were acknowledging it, but they were like, "There's more," and it was like, "Okay, I'm hungry for more." Like, give
Yeah,
me.
definitely.
Another one for me was actually, I mean, on the subject of that, Black Panther, Ryan Coogler.
Oh yeah.
He's the director of Black Panther, but he's
Mhm.
also director of one of my favorite movies in recent memory, which is Creed. Um, it was like the next, I guess, the next iteration or the continuation of the Rocky franchise, which was following Apollo Creed's son. Um, and that story, like, it felt like it could have just easily been like a cash in.
Mhm.
Just like, oh, we're just gonna keep doing these Rocky movies, like Rocky sells, like whatever. Like I don't know if it sells or not, but um, the story that he put behind Creed and Michael B. Jordan, portrays this Apollo Creed's son, um, and he does it like in the relationship he has with Stallone, with Rocky, and like the struggles he goes through that are unique to him, and and everything. Like I just felt like Ryan Coogler captured a lot of that really greatly, and like that whole movie, like I don't know, like within the Rocky franchise, I love the Rocky movies, but like that's one of my favorite ones in the Rocky franchise.
Yeah,
So,
it's so good.
I'm really curious and excited for what else like Ryan Coogler comes up with. I just looked up like what else he's working on, and it's like
Mhm.
he's working on Black Panther 2. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was also in charge of the whatever the next Space Jam movie was.
Oh, what?
That throws me off. Yeah. He was also part of Creed 2, which I loved as well, like very much, because it
Mhm.
was like the first one was very much an origin story of like where he's coming from, who he is, which is
Right.
very important. But the second one was like the character coming into his own, like becoming more than just like a one-off. And I don't know. I think both of them were great films. I loved them both. So. Props to Ryan Coogler. If if they haven't heard.
That's a good one.
My my second choice, Kendrick Lamar. I like to think I haven't heard anything in recent years. I like to think he's like making an album and it's getting released next week. He, I don't know. I could relate to him because he's not a typical rapper where he's not a, like he was just a good kid just growing up in the streets. So like I could relate to him a lot of his lyrics. I think he won a Pulitzer as well.
Mm.
Oh wow.
So like yeah, he's like dude, like the music that he makes like just speaks for the times. One of his album covers was, a bunch of black people in front of the White House, and like a lot of people were like retweeting it, when like the White House went dark and stuff. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't know, his music speaks like of the times that we're in.
Yeah, I'm reading up on that Pulitzer. He got it for his album called
Damn.
or titled Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
A rap album won a Pulitzer.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. He's very lyrical. Like, dude, his lyrics are just they're next level. He's like the best. I think he's the best rapper out right now. Don't at me.
Very,
Don't
very
at me.
strong statement. And do you want me to move on to mine?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so my number 2 as well is going to be John Boyega. He's another well-known actor. I mean, he's in a few really really good movies. He's Pacific Rim, which Kurosh is his #1 movie of all time.
He's in the sequel, and he was one of the best parts of the sequel. To be honest, like that sequel didn't have a lot going for it, but he was definitely one of the parts that I was like, they tried. Like they did some. I mean as a whole, like it was different director and everything, but like I felt like they had a story there with like who his character was and everything. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
He was also in Attack the Block. I don't know if either of you guys have seen that movie.
I'm seeing that from 2011. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like
though.
it's like a British film, right?
Yeah, it's literally like Have you guys seen The Warriors, like the old
Yeah.
classic movie?
Yeah.
It's like The Warriors with a sci-fi twist.
Ooh.
Like it's not like super in like high level depth complexity, but like
Yeah.
it's very enjoyable, very cool movie, very refreshing.
So they're moving like
I-
through the city and trying to survive, essentially.
Yeah, and there's just like these weird aliens, and like there's like block, wars and turf stuff, and like he's part of a group of friends and stuff, and they get caught in the middle of it.
W-
Okay.
Very,
One,
very good film.
one thing I like about Boyega is he really has a I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
Like I remember when the Star Wars script leaked, and then I think he
Mhm.
was the leaker. Well, he didn't.
Oh,
leak,
really?
He left it out. He left it out, and the maid took it. Like he didn't.
So
he
was the
like
reason.
he
Yeah.
didn't really care. He's like I don't give a fuck.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if people don't know, he's also in the one of the three most, or in all three of the most recent Star Wars movies. He's a character in that film, and even though he has, I feel like he's got a really bright future within the film industry. He's decided to be very outspoken about the Black Lives Movement, and he's putting himself out there and
Mhm.
risking what I would consider a lot for an actor. Like that's who you are. Like you are someone that will be in movies, and if people, if they see you for something that they don't agree with, it could really harm you, in your future. And he's just not willing to, he's not willing to care about that. And he's just, he's doing for what's right, and he's fighting for a cause that I stand by him 100%.
I again highly recommend. Like he's got a lot of great movies, but like Attack the Block, highly recommend it. Definitely.
Nice.
worth
I'll have to
checking
check it out. I didn't realize that was one that he was in. So I'll
That's
check it out.
I think that's how he got discovered. That was his first
Mhm.
like big film.
That was one of the big first hits. Yeah, he was in. He was like, what? I want to highlight a comic book individual.
Yeah.
Dwayne McDuffie. He's been involved in a lot of different comic books and like cartoons. Like Ben 10 is something he's been a part of.
Oh wow.
But like one of the shows that he started, I think, and I believe he was in charge. He was one of the individuals that helped create this character. I don't know if you guys remember when was this? It was the early 2000s. Superhero Static Shock.
Yeah.
I know who it is. Yeah.
Static Shock, yeah. I love that show. I don't know, like it had some stuff that was just like it felt fresh. It was kind of different, and it was really cool.
You know how
And like, okay,
you know how there's that show Black Lightning? Like
Mhm.
the actor that I used to stream with, he was trying to petition to become Static Shock.
really?
Yeah. And it was like
Did it
it kind of gained steam, but then nothing ever like happened,
That's a shame. I think that has a lot of like potential behind it. Like, they created like a lot like Phil Lamar, which is like he's done the voice of Samurai Jack. He's been in like a ton of different voice acting roles. So many other individuals are behind that show, and they had such like the range of like it was sort of like they just fully realized like his like a lot of the characters and dynamics and everything, and had like a really cool like world that they created within. It's within DC Comics too, so I hope they tap into that more. So yeah, he's done like Dwayne. Like I said, Dwayne McDuffie's been a part of a lot of different stuff. He's worked on Teen Titans, Justice League, Marvel, a bunch of Marvel stuff that I haven't read his Marvel stuff too much.
Yeah.
But I know a lot more of his DC stuff. He was a part of making there was an adaptation of one of the Justice League animated films. It was called Doom, where they were like Batman had a contingency plan for like all the if any of the Justice League heroes went rogue, he had a plan for them, and someone got a hold of these plans that Batman had in place, and he was a part of like writing that animated adaptation. And I was like, it was a good, like the original story was great, and then like the adaptation turned out pretty good too. So that was pretty.
It's a very interesting concept. I think you guys have talked about it too. I've heard about the Doom.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Highly recommend.
Well, I want to give a shout out to, I'm gonna mispronounce this guy's name, Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's a book author. He wrote this book called which I'm reading right now. It's called Between the World and Me, and it's basically the format is he's writing letters to his son. What's it like a warning, like what's it like, what's your life gonna be like growing up, and it's pretty crazy. Like, I'm looking at like it's one book of the year, but it's ranked 7th on Guardian's list of the 100 best books of the 21st century. So
Wow.
it's like a 2-hour read. I'm like halfway done with it, but yeah, highly.
And what'd you say the name of the
between the world and me, and he's written for Black Panther. So after this book like gained like steam and stuff, like he actually got like all these job offers. So I guess before that he was struggling as a journalist, and then this book brought him to the stratosphere, and he got invited to work in Black Panther, and then he's written many other books afterward. But recommend this book.
That's cool.
Put that in my catalog. Between the World and Me.
It's like 2 hours long. It's super short.
Did you have any more, Vargas?
I didn't have another.
Okay. I just had one more I wanted to quickly shout out,
Yeah.
and that was Marquise Brownlee. He's a YouTuber. Like if you search MKBHD,
Yeah.
you'll find him. Like he's like the face of tech on YouTube, pretty much. He's a young guy. Like I never realized he was like around my brother's age. I'm like, holy shit. But like I don't. There's such like a simplicity with like his videos. Like his when I mean tech, he just talks about like whatever the latest smartphone is. He's big on Tesla. He talks about like the features of Tesla. He talks about the future of tech. He's had interviews with people, Gates, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all kinds of people, and like it's like looking at like I see all these different YouTubers, and like there's a shtick usually.
Mhm.
It's so straightforward with what he does. It's just he does it so well, and so I don't know, like
I remember he posted
Yeah.
posted a tweet about like editing a video and then the intro,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, dude, no truer facts have been said. Like the editing the intro is like way much longer than the actual video. I was like, that's so true.
Yeah, and he's done like a lot of interesting. Like there was one video that was really interesting, I thought, and he's inquisitive. He had this really cool video where it's like if you upload a video, download the YouTube version of it, upload it again, download the YouTube version of it. How many times does that compression? After how many different iterations does that compression completely degrade the original quality of
Of the video.
product? And it was like several thousand. Like it was a lot. But like when he
Wow.
did it, it was a night and day difference. It was like something you'd see out of like the 1920s, like just white noise, crazy, just bad quality
crazy.
shit. And like he went from like a 4K quality video upload, and I'm like, whoa! Like it's things you don't think about like offhand, but he's like that compression takes it, does something, and like you degrade the quality, and like it's not noticeable the first time, but like once you do, I don't know, like it was just like a thought experiment. And he's done a lot of those too. So like he's really like it's one of my go-to YouTube channels just because of it's informative. I definitely am interested in the phone side of stuff, but even not for that, like he's got some interesting thoughts. Like he had this one experiment where it was regardless of knowing the specs, it was a blind phone camera test, and like everyone's always talking about like, oh, iPhone has the best phone camera, Samsung or whatever else, and he just like pairs two. He does like a tournament bracket style,
Yeah.
and he just paired a bunch of them, like 25 different ones, or 24 different ones, or whatever. And like people would vote, like on Instagram, on Twitter, on whatever. And he would just eliminate them, like as they went up. And like he started noticing, like once he had a winner, he was very surprised because it wasn't any of the top end phones. It was like some
The
phone
Nokia
from-
3390.
It was like this weird phone from like India called like the Oppo or like something. I forget what brand it was. It was like not from America. That's like
Yeah.
a big name brand. And that one was one of the top two, if not the winner. And people were like, why? And he's like, part of it's compression. It's like what Twitter or Instagram shows versus
Mhm.
what the original photo actually takes, and like what people find more appealing. So like if things tend towards like a brighter contrast, people find that more appealing than something that like really separates, that makes the photo contrasting and like separates the darks from the lights, and does a lot of like different like color tinting and all this stuff. And like he's like, you notice trends because people will vote, like you'll like see like 3 different votes in a row that all show that kind of trend. And he's like, huh, who knew? So if you haven't seen his channel, I highly recommend it. Easy to find on YouTube. MKBHD. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's got a certain style. He like you said, he's very simplistic. He does a lot of like minimalist, um, like background looks and stuff like that. Keeps things very clean, and I think he does a great job with how he has like his content seems to have like one um style, and you know he's able to do that really really well.
Yeah, very consistent. Yeah, I just wanted to shout him out. So,
Yeah.
Jang, did you have any other ones?
Mm, I mean, there is a lot of Twitter people that I follow that are cool, but I don't know if I should mention Twitter peeps. Or I mean, they're celebrities, but
Oh, if there's anything you want to mention.
I like Ice T and Ice Cubes because they keep it real.
Yeah, no, it's very very true.
Janelle Monáe is pretty good too. She's a artist, R&B artist turned actress. It's not like as raw as Ice Cube and Ice T's, but it's pretty like pretty cool Twitter. Very vocal about recent events.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about any other aspects of what's been going on lately, with like the police brutality, the protests? Have you guys like had, like, I know there's been curfews involved, but has that, have you been involved in anything, or like I don't know, where do you guys want to talk?
Yeah, I've had involvement, not like physical. I've donated. I've you know retweeted a lot of different of these artists on my Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I highlight moments that I think like are need to be like out in the spotlight. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. There was one thing that I saw that I think is very, just for a good place of like a hub of resources that I've seen getting shared by several of these organizations that have been supporting it. But it's blacklivesmatter.carrd.co,
Hmm.
and it's just like, okay, map of protests, petitions to sign, places to call, donations. It's like
I've seen it. I've seen that.
yeah, and I have it linked to like my social stuff, like as of just like it's there. But like it's super like any sort of
Condensed.
information.
It's
Yeah, it's
super
very condensed. Have you guys seen you? So Jane, you've seen it. Vargas, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've definitely seen it. That's where I've gotten like a lot of my donations done in, and then
Yeah,
baptism and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I've been doing the same. Like I went. I found. At first, I was like, I wasn't sure what it was, and then I saw several different reputable organizations, sharing it, and I looked into it a little bit more, and I was like, okay, this seems like a good place to like educate myself,
Hmm.
and like find where I can help and do what I can. And I saw the donation pages. I saw a few different ones that I thought I could help out with. There's a lot of like just general things that like I feel like some of this. I mean, to some it may seem common sense to like be good to one another, but I guess to others it's surprisingly not, and that's where a lot of this conflict comes in. But like a lot of the education that comes, like where that stems from, and where it that conversation is just from a perspective that I don't know, and learning that, like I see those resources there and just many other places. I just wanted to highlight that. I'll put a link of that hub in, when we post
That'd be a really good
this
idea.
episode. So just if people haven't seen it already, it's just another place to be able to, I think would be good. But I noticed in my area, at first I noticed the curfew, but I did notice there was several peaceful protests, which I thought was really really good. Um, there wasn't any mistreatment of the people protesting or anything. I thought that was something that was relieved to hear, because I know there's so many places that that's not the case, and
Yeah.
it's hard to see that. But I don't know. Is there any other thoughts you guys wanted to share about?
No, yeah, I've had a lot of peaceful protests. One specifically in my city. They did an early morning. I think it started like at 10. They were there for like about 2 hours, a little more than that. Just in front of my the city hall. Yeah, very very peaceful. By the time my work was done, I drove through the area just to see if I can see anything, and it was already like it was done with, and very very
Okay.
clean area still. Nothing was damaged or anything. But yeah, like I mean, even there's some in I don't know the city. It was in L.A. They all kneeled, and it was huge. It was like a whole area. They kind of went off to the side so they didn't block too much traffic, and yeah, I mean they knelt down and they did their protest there. It was really cool.
Is Jang? Do you have any? Is there anything?
I want to say stuff, but it's more criticism towards the other side. But I think I should. Mum's the word. But
Sure.
I mean, just I think one thing that's kind of like not trending as much is. Okay, I'm not gonna say.
That's fine. Have you?
Sorry, you cut out for me. What was that?
I was asking if Jang has been. Jang, have you been?
There's been-
streaming.
Hold up.
Jang,
Hold up.
hello.
This thing
Hold
went
up.
off.
My scene switched, and
no.
I'm in my underwear, so I'm gonna have to go into this video processing and cut out the video. God damn it.
Why do you have your thing
well,
set
okay,
like-
wait. What was the question again? No, I accidentally clicked something, and then it changed to a scene with the camera
Gotcha.
on me,
Okay.
and yeah, free to nipple. But
No worries.
what was that again?
So you can hear me now?
Yes. No, I could hear you, but I was trying to like
okay.
change the scene.
Your mic. Got it.
I was trying to change the scene. Okay.
What I was trying to ask was, have you, in the last few days or so, have you streamed?
See, like, I didn't feel like streaming or making YouTube videos, when
Yeah.
this stuff was going on. I did stream yesterday. Oh, no, not yesterday. 2 days ago.
So,
And-
did you have in your chat like? Is there any? Did you? Was there any difference? Was it the same, as before? Or, like,
It
just
it
in
was
terms of like your engagement.
it was the same.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't feel like I just feel like it's not right, Like, but
Yeah.
like I think I'm gonna like any subs or donations for this month. I'm gonna donate it. I'm gonna donate it to it's the one that you liked. Like a friend posted it and then you liked it on Twitter. Forgot the name of it. But I also saw like a big YouTuber say to donate to this specific website link. I forgot what it was called. But you liked it on Twitter.
The ones I had donated to, it might have been this one. Was it Campaign Zero?
Yeah, I think that's the one. It sounds like
Yeah,
it.
so I donated to Campaign Zero, ACLU, NACC or NACP Legal Defense Fund, and then Black Lives Matter and Reclaim the Block, and then there was another one that was like, the Reclaim the Block was a Minneapolis specific one. There was
Okay.
another one that was like in that area that I also donated to earlier. I forgot what the name of that one was, but that was one of the first ones that popped up to like help support, bailout bonds, like any resources for that. So I think though the one I had retweeted or shared was Campaign Zero because they had a lot of. Was it very informative, like what it was sharing.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that drew me to Campaign Zero, which was like a lot of like different activities that they're involved in different ways. So no, it wasn't so much like it should. I was trying to say I wasn't trying to say your channel should have been a story. I was just curious if you were seeing like your chat talking about anything
It's just
pertaining to it, or
it's pretty the same.
Okay.
I noticed I've lost some followers on Instagram. And I know two of my viewers are more conservative,
Mhm.
and I know they haven't been in the chat, and maybe it's because of my stream title. My stream title is just Black Lives Matter.
Mhm.
I haven't seen them, and that is kind of weird. Like I probably have lost some people. I know I've lost some people, but it's
Mhm.
okay. I'm fighting the
Yeah.
right fight, so.
Yeah, in my Instagram videos, I posted some things and in support of the of all this. And if anyone says anything at all that they're for the opposite side, I've been immediately blocking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, even before this, I haven't really done too much, and I was like, or like just in my socials. But then I saw some of that, after the events that have been taking place, I was like, I have to like at least share something that could, like, even if it gets to like one or two other people that wouldn't have seen it. I think that would have been helpful. Um, I realized I had a few Kindle like credits, and I decided to like use one of them today. There was a book that I had recommended to me from that resource I was sharing, but also I've seen it like in a few other sites. It was called. I want to pull it up right now.
you got too many
Give,
books.
give me one second. Oh,
No,
okay.
not enough.
Uh,
Dude, I've been buying the fucking like 3 books a week.
No.
Finishing one book, buying 3.
Oh, it was Audible. Sorry, I thought it was Kindle. Like I mixed up Kindle and Audible. I was like, it's one and the same. It was an Audible book. White Fragility.
Ah,
Um,
I've heard of it.
It's by Robin DiAngelo, and the tagline is why it's so hard for white people to talk about racism. And I'd seen a lot of great reviews. I'd seen it was highly recommended, so I'm curious. I want to see if it's worthwhile, and I'm gonna just listen to it. I mean, I have time.
And then afterwards, you read Between the World and Me. And
Is that the one you were talking about earlier?
yeah, I'm just
I,
kidding.
I
You
do
don't
have
to.
I do have more credits. So between the world and me, I'm gonna save that one. Okay, save. Um, but yeah,
I bought the book that you gifted me. I bought a Kindle version of it.
oh, nice.
Born a Crime.
Yeah,
Trevor Noah. So
yeah.
Trevor Noah's also good too. Holy shit! How did we
Yeah,
not talk
yeah,
about him?
I'll add that one to the thing.
Trevor Noah, dude.
List.
Very smart and funny. Like, just I don't know, man. Just
Yeah. Yeah, I that just it's a lot to take in. What's been going on? It's like I don't know. It's hard, and um, I can't imagine what it's like for so many of what that are going through it. The harshest, just on the base level of like what's been happening, like where the incidents have taken place and everything. Um, I hope it gets better.
And we'll continue to share everything we can and donate where we can. And I think you said we're gonna go ahead and put some links so other people that watch us can or hear us can go and help out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
As
share
well.
the links. I'm gonna write out the list of the names that of individuals we've mentioned, and I think it like what's crazy is like I think oh fuck, I should have mentioned him too. Xavier Woods
mm,
and the New Day, like the, and just that group as a whole, like as
Yeah.
a wrestling group and as an entertainment group of up down down. Like the reason I was thinking of him was because today I was watching a podcast or a YouTube. It was both a YouTube thing but also a Twitch thing of him just being like, normally like we have moments like this happen of just what's been going on with like the protests, and it's just that like we all have like our work and stuff, but like that's happening on top of a pandemic.
yeah.
And there's the effects of that's been affecting everyone, of like being quarantined, being riled up in that way, or being handling a lot of like the stresses of unemployment, like unemployment's skyrocketed and all
It
this
was
stuff.
like the perfect storm for like.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like what that clock was looking like right now and the Doomsday one.
Oh, Dunes, shit.
But like he was just talking about, like it's not just the fact that we're going through what we're going through now, but also that we're going through it in the time like of what this other stuff's happening, and to recognize. And he was just bringing awareness to recognizing like it's really taking like emotionally, mentally, in all ways, it's just draining um, to everyone that's like trying to fight to help one another, to be good to one another. And I think um, acknowledgement of that, to like the people that are like fighting for these good things, and like they're feeling exhausted, or they're feeling like they're like on the verge of collapse or whatever, like. And there, if there's any worry of like that's not an okay feel, like I feel like like talk to each other, like find strength in the in like each other's love and each other's
I just don't want.
being alongside one each other.
I just don't want like, like 20 years from now, like people will watch Watchmen and be like, "Oh, that's still relevant." Like, it's like, I don't want like something like, that. It's crazy. Like, The Wire is still relevant. Like,
Yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
yeah, it feels like it's not being learned, it's not being like these these horrible things that are like happening. And
See, now I want to get into Nate, but no, I'm just gonna read
yeah,
read between the world and me. Um,
yeah, the resources like we'll point you to, and I think um, they'll be enlightening, they'll be educational, and they'll point you to where like things, where actions can do positive and good things for the people that are hurting, fighting a lot of these fights.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you guys? I feel like that's a good place to end thing.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I don't think we should do our normal outro. We should just, thank everyone for listening, and
Yeah,
we can
I
sign off.
agree. Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
bye.